I'll suck your toes, bro. I'll suck your toes.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Oh, God.
Damn, what episode? Oh, SOLtalk Sundays, episode 3. Back up in this thing.
60,927
Oh.
2.
All right. How's everybody's week? Doing
Extravagant.
Good week. Christmas made it longer than it needed to be.
I had Friday off.
What'd y'all do for the holy days?
Just chill out. Help my uncle help one of the kids set up their Xbox because I'm apparently the tech guy now in the family. Since I
You don't know how to set up his own Xbox?
But literally no one in that house has had a game system, and my uncle is terrible with like technology. So they don't. And Xbox One is a little bit more than just like a PlayStation 2, where it's just like
facts. Yeah, the one is different.
You gotta do a whole bunch of stuff. So then just shut out. Came over to mom's crib, went out with the family, exchanged gifts. Had a nice little dinner. So just regular.
Did it feel like Christmas?
It didn't. Not at all to me.
Yeah, it didn't at all.
I was out of it. I didn't even go to like my family's pre-holiday Christmas Eve gathering that we have every year. I didn't go. I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, it definitely just felt like another day.
Yeah. Y'all?
I don't celebrate holy days. These pagan. Let me stop.
I was about to get you your Kwanzaa cap or your woke cap. Or the woke kufi. Hotep kufi with the ankh.
My Hotep crown. I'm out. With the ankh. Nah, I didn't do anything. I was just excited to get some socks. That's all.
Yeah, that's the one thing I asked for, and I did not get it.
Oh,
I couldn't get socks. That's crazy.
Wait, are socks now like the top, near the top of the list for Christmas gifts for us now? Is that where we are right now?
No, honestly, socks is better than Xbox.
Oh man, because I was hyped too, and I got some socks. Not gonna lie.
That's what it's come to, yo.
Bro, I feel like I could make it through the year doing anything with some socks, bro.
Some good socks.
You get some refreshed socks. You're like, okay, here we go. Let's go. We ready to start the new year.
Yeah, these socks were made for
Nuevo año, nuevo yo.
Facts. We are 3 days, 2 days. Yeah, me, I just went to...
Stop counting. All right, what are we talking about?
My Oni's crib, had some food. But, all right.
Yeah, we don't care what you did.
Stuff. Little question I'm going to start us off with. Warm us up. Have you guys ever been hit on by a girl? And also, when was the last time you were sexually rejected by a woman? So if y'all don't want to start, I'll start.
Yeah, you can go ahead and start it off.
Give it some. So have I ever been hit on a girl?
Hit on by a girl. Speak English, boy.
Not directly. Like, girls have definitely given me signals, but it's not the same where like what we would do to hit on a girl and say something more direct. So there's definitely been like passive hints, but it's never been like, hey, I really like you, blah blah. That usually happens like once we start talking and all that.
That's happened.
To me?
No, go ahead. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't know. All right.
Oh.
Maybe I have it. I just can't pinpoint it, but it's not coming. It obviously doesn't happen enough to where I can just say completely yes. Last time I was rejected, that's actually never happened. But I don't shoot many shots in that realm, so my scale is a little small for that.
This is low sample size.
Yeah, it's very low sample size. I'm one of those dudes who'll be not trying to get rejected, so I'll just make sure my shit is Gucci before I go that route. Don't play yourself 2020, you know?
Let's see. Well, have I ever been hit on a girl? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's me and my signal, but y'all not saying by a girl. It's just y'all keep saying, "Have I ever been hit on a girl?"
I said by a girl. I said
yeah. He said by.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's my headphones or something, but I keep missing that by a girl.
They not picking up the word by.
No, it's not picking up the word by. Have I ever hit on a girl? Okay, Chris Brown, chill.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris Brown.
I'm not sure I have. Do I remember it outright? Absolutely not. Not to say like it's happened often, but it's just like I've been told, like, you've been told, like, oh, you have a nice smile or like stuff like that. So it's just,
a nice what?
Sometimes you've been told you have a nice smile. I've been told I have a nice smile. So
you do.
Yeah.
You do.
That's what it is.
That's how he gets them with the grin. With the Grinch grin.
Yo, I hate you.
Yeah.
I
forgot about that.
And I'm wearing green today.
Yo.
I hate you.
And he's wearing green.
But I mean, nothing crazy though. Like girls, they're not really like, that bold like that, or at least not to me, at least. So, but last time I was sexually rejected, I think it maybe happened. Might happen once.
Yo, you're foul.
Yo, hey, come on, dog.
I have to give some context, bro.
So we doing. Oh, okay.
No, nah.
Yeah, but no, I think yes, I have been. It's been a while, so maybe like a year or so, a couple years probably. But yeah, I have been.
Sure. Have I been hit on by a female?
And don't lie.
Yes.
I know.
And why am I the only one who gets and don't lie?
Because just making sure. That's all.
Whack. Anyways, yes, it's happened in college, high school. Has it happened outside of college?
I think that's the real question. That's like that would be like more interesting.
I don't think so, because I don't really be going anywhere. Be trying to say to myself. Rejection. I'm more on the Josh flow, but I feel like I have. I just can't remember it.
Yeah, I think like you like guys like probably have like maybe probably a couple times that they have. Most times.
Yeah, but it's just like
either it happened like
I'm
so
just
long
saying,
ago.
like I don't just recklessly feel you. So you ask people to engage in that activity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like
to me it's weird, but
like most times when you ask someone to get engaged in that activity, like it's like kind of already established, sort of. So
yeah, it's like you get the feeling you shouldn't really be asking people, yo, you trying to. Like,
yeah, you shouldn't be forcing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a flow.
That's a fact. That's why it doesn't really happen. Like you shouldn't really get rejected because you shouldn't really be asking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would be different. All right, so that's gonna lead into the next question. The woman that you guys have been with, do you feel was because? Well, first I'll ask, what do you feel is more attractive in a woman? Is it when she's vulnerable or timid, or as a strong slash independent woman? So the vulnerable, I'm using that word because when we were a little more primal, that was kind of like the exchange between man and woman. The woman would be in a vulnerable situation or like need help with something, and the man with his physical prowess or whatever. At least this is what we've been said anyway. Who knows if this is actually
There we
happening?
go. I'm glad you fixed that.
But
I was about
the
to come in
man
like
with
a
his
bat out of hell.
physicality would help the woman or save the woman or whatever. And it was kind of, at least for me,
Popeye.
like Popeye put in our head that that's kind of how it happens, and like that's what we're attracted to. So do you feel that the woman you've been with was it more because they were vulnerable or strong? Like, what do you feel you're more attracted to?
I want to let y'all answer that.
I'll go first because I actually thought about this a lot. Um, so I've actually been, it's a 60-40, but I've actually been with more women in terms of like our first kind of encounter was more out of vulnerability. And then the other 40% was more out of like, those are like really strong, independent women. And then I didn't like meet them or like take that next step with them through any vulnerability. It was just like, they didn't need me and I knew that. And they were like very strong. They were very secure about that. So I definitely feel like it's like when you see, or at least for me, like when you see a woman cry, like you kind of just want to help. And then, you know, that can obviously lead to like being friends and blah, blah, blah. At least for me, that's kind of been what it was. Like I see them needing help and then I want to help them. And then like I feel for them. And then that's kind of why, you know, something may happen between us. And then, yeah, so it's 60-40. So it's been more of that than the opposite. But I personally feel I'm definitely more attracted to, for like longevity, a strong woman. I think the vulnerability will bring me in, but it won't make me stay. Like if you're just gonna be vulnerable the whole time, like no, I'm not gonna be saving you or whatever the whole time, helping you out. Eventually, I'm gonna need someone that's strong and can handle things herself. And I may help her, but I just need to like have that feeling of I don't need to help her every time. So that's my take on it.
That's interesting. I never really thought about it like in like sort of that terms really.
Mm.
So it's like kind of different. I wouldn't say like vulnerable. Like vulnerability is if, like something that I'm attracted to. It's just like those girls like that I've like talked to and like had like encounters like that with. It's like I've had to have like some sort of conversation for some sort of time with them like beforehand. So it's like there's been like we've like been like so whether we were building just like it was just like I don't know. Because like, could you say the question again? Because like, are you attracted? Is like, were you more attracted to it, or
Yeah, so it's two parts. Like, do you feel vulnerability or like a woman's strength is what attracts you more? And then relating that to like the actual woman you've been with,
um?
or
Wait,
timid.
so
You can also use the word timid.
wait, what was that first part? The first part. That's what I need.
More attractive, vulnerability, or timidness, or being strong, or timid, shy. I guess that could be in the same category as well.
Um,
You know, like
honestly,
looking at
like
the woman
that's.
you've been with, were they very
No,
outright?
were they like more outspoken, or were they just really shy?
Come on, come on.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
like
all right. So that's better. All right, so no, like I don't like. I think most girls I've like been with probably more in the middle. Like I'm more attracted to like a girl that's like there's some girls that have been like loud and like not girls that have been like, loud or nothing like that, but girls that are just I don't know, like she doesn't have to be more reserved, but it's kind of just like sort of. So it's somewhere probably in the middle, I'd say, for me.
My
Say
turn.
it, Meister.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
So Josh, you said it's like 60-40, leaning more towards the vulnerability side or timid. And Jameer, you say you in the middle.
Yeah.
Heard.
Actually,
And the question.
actually, I'd say
Okay, go ahead.
I'm leaning more
Go
towards
ahead,
like
boy.
stronger, outspoken, actually, woman.
Got you.
Yeah.
Boy, get up on my melon.
Oh.
Not annoying. All right. So what you're more attracted to?
Yeah, what do you feel you're more
Just making
attracted
sure
to,
we on
and
the
then you
same
can
page
kind of
here.
use your actual experience.
Uh,
Based.
um, that's how I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna go with strong, and I think it's more because at the same time, vulnerability is strength. You know what I'm saying? Like if you could be vulnerable with me and like sharing your experiences and sharing, your happiness, etc., what makes you tick. Like I don't mind vulnerability in that sense, but like if you're like helpless, no, I don't find you acting like you're helpless or being helpless is attractive at all. So my answer is gonna be strong, but you
Yeah.
also have to define what strong is because a strong what people say is strong, it could be like the new word, the phrase of the century is toxic behavior. So
Oh God. Yeah.
you could think you're strong, but you're actually toxic. See what I'm saying?
No. Yeah.
Mm,
Exactly.
yeah.
It was like girls have been like vulnerable, but when I say vulnerable, I mean like open and just like been able to say, being able to
Yeah,
communicate,
that's what I'm saying.
like just stuff like that.
A lot of people.
Like this girl that's like timid or shy, like that stuff you gotta like either you gotta really build a connection to get that out of her, or like you're probably most likely you're not gonna get it out. Like you're not gonna get her to say it to you.
Yeah. I guess I more so
Yeah,
mean like vulnerable, but with more of a like need or want your help.
So like they want to like be
yeah,
vulnerable.
that savior
Yeah, so
complex.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You just need somebody to save you.
They
Nah,
need a
I'm not
captain.
into that,
They need a captain
Shit, nah.
save them. Yeah,
bro. And
no.
there's and there's guys who act that way too. Don't
Oh no, there's
gotta
definitely
keep it
guys that
balanced
oh I mean it definitely goes both ways.
because
Like
people think you're attacking them.
I know definitely everything. Like it goes both ways. There's definitely dudes that act that way too. And
Heck yeah, mama's boy.
dudes that
Need their
need
mama to do everything.
need somebody to do stuff for them, need people to you always need some sort of help with something, never try to go out, do something for
Facts.
themselves. It's just like, nah,
Those
like come on, like at some point,
people
like
exist.
yeah, like at some point, like every once in a while, like, okay, I guess everyone needs some help sometime. Everyone's gonna need help at some point, yes. But it's just like
Facts.
when you're gonna be like when you're gonna like step up and be, like, all right, stand on your own 2 feet, like do something for yourself.
Be a man or be a girl.
Stand on your
Be
square.
be an adult, be like a mature person. Like, come on, let's go.
Let your nuts or your
Be
ovaries hang.
who thou wilt.
Words.
That's what we say, let you.
I quit.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely like maybe more of a scientific thing of like men need to feel needed or wanted. Like they need to feel like a woman wants their help. That's what I was basing that off of, is definitely true. Like nobody wants to feel like they're not needed or wanted.
Thank you. There you go.
It's like there's no
Good
connection.
cleanup, Papa.
Well,
Like, everybody wants to feel wanted, bro.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you wouldn't get in a relationship.
Otherwise, this
Absolutely.
social media shit would not be yapping.
Facts.
All right. So next, we're gonna go into right. We kind of come to agreements on that. Should we give up seats for pregnant women? And I'm gonna preface this with how much. Well, we'll start with pregnant women and then eventually just go into like women in general. But how much should they be catered to? Pregnancy is not new. This is something that, at least in their genes for since time began, in my assumption. So how much should they really be catered to? Like, should we automatically get up because we see a pregnant woman on the train or a bus? Should we go out of our way to do things that we wouldn't normally do for them if they weren't pregnant? So an example could be if you don't normally hold the door open for someone, should it be, oh, she's pregnant, let me hold the door open? Like, should they be babied? I mean, this is something it's not abnormal. This is part of their biology, the ability to get pregnant. So is this something where we should just make that exception, or should it be more on let them, be the strong women that they are? It's well known that women have a more mental endurance as compared to men, and that would make sense due to what their biology is going through and like not has to go through, but will go through if they decide to have a child or a family. So should we treat them as is, or should we go out our way in regards to pregnant women?
You want me to go first?
Okay.
I mean, that's if you want, yeah.
Okay. Put simply, how much extra weight does a woman have to carry if she has a baby? Just a guess.
Good question.
Good questions. Like, I'm not sure.
9 months pregnant, got a
9
baby.
months. 9 months pregnant. That
20
baby's like
pounds.
probably like, yeah.
I don't know how much it is. Let's just say 20 pounds.
Yeah, let's just say, yeah.
If any
Google it real quick.
any person was carrying around 20 extra pounds of weight on whatever they're doing, say you're on the subway, are you gonna let them take your seat? Oh,
Yo, come on. Yo, come on.
Nah, I'm Googling real quick.
Scared me.
Yo.
Yeah, it's a question.
Yo, you could have just cleared this out before. You could have just go to the regular page.
Why are you making it hot?
You're the one that made it hot.
30 pounds. Extra 30 pounds.
30 pounds. Okay. All right.
And I'm guessing that's if they don't have that extra weight.
Somebody with extra 30 pounds of luggage.
What you doing? We're trying to find the chart. Okay.
All right, so we'll say like 30 to.
Oh boy, got mad tabs open.
30 to 40 pounds.
Okay, 30 to 40 pounds. Me personally, if I saw somebody struggling and they had 30 or 40 extra pounds of luggage or whatever, I'll offer. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think this whole thing is made a lot bigger of a deal than it really is.
Yeah, bro.
If you see somebody struggling or they're tired, okay, I'll offer my seat up to you. It's not that big a deal. If I'm good, I'll offer it. But at the same time, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to open the door for you. I don't have to do any of this. I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart because I feel that you deserve it more than I do. Think about it like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro, where is this question coming from, sort of? Because like, just like just me in general, just like knowing myself, I would yes, I would allow that person, a pregnant woman, take my seat. Like, yeah, of course, just like, I guess I usually hold the door open for like people that I see coming behind me anyway. So that goes too. Like going out of my way to like, what other stuff are we talking about? Like going out of like the way for that I wouldn't normally do, like that would apply for a pregnant woman.
Well, I think for you guys are very gentlemanly, so it would be a harder question for you guys to maybe grasp. But one of my coworkers basically said he doesn't hold the door open for women because of that whole equality thing. Like they're strong enough, and he feels like him holding the door is like babying them. Like they can are more capable of holding the door just as we are. And he said he does that for males as well. It's not just like a male female thing. So he was saying the same thing. Like if he's coming home from work and he's tired, like he doesn't have to get up, and most of the time he doesn't get up just because a woman is pregnant. Like this is something that she's able to or should be able to deal with. It's just part of her biology, her nature. So it's kind of like the concept of is that something we have to do? And I feel like as a society, I witnessed it the other day actually. A pregnant woman came on the train, and this guy was sitting next to I assume it was his girl or his friend, and they were talking, chatting it up. And there's another woman in front of them, and she's looking at him like, "Yo, get up!" But he's just having this conversation. And then the pregnant woman, she was fine, like she was holding on just like everybody else to the railing. And then the woman who's not even in the seat asks her, "Hey, do you want a seat?" And she's like, "No, I'm okay, thank you." And then she's like, "Are you sure?" And it's like, she's like, "No, I'm okay." And then the guy kind of looked like an asshole. So he kind of started feeling bad and was like, "Oh no, you could take my seat, you could take my seat." And then he got up and then she took the seat. So it's like, it's this perception of like, oh, you have to like get up. Like if you don't get up, like there's something wrong with you. You're a toxic masculine or toxic man.
Let me break that story down.
Go ahead.
Okay, you so worried about the pregnant lady getting a seat. The old girl who was giving a stank eye across from him, why didn't she get up and offer her? If you're so worried about it, you don't have
standing,
bro. There is no. Oh, she was standing.
Yeah.
So how you gonna offer a seat you don't have?
That's what I'm saying.
And like that's just
nobody has to do anything. Nobody has to do anything. Nobody has to get up off their seat. Nobody has to hold the door open. It's just being nice. It shouldn't be expected.
That's a statement of the world now.
That's the thing. It should not be expected.
That's a statement of like, this is like just a state of like the world, social media. Like it'll make you think something you have to do, and it's just like, no, like you don't have to do it. Some stuff is just the gentlemanly thing to do. Some things are just the nice thing to do for someone. It's just a courteous.
Forget that whole gentleman. Exactly. Forget the whole.
Something's just courteous.
It's just nice. I'm just being nice.
Exactly. And like
I don't have to do anything.
People take things like such a wrong way. Like, oh, like you should do, like you're supposed to. Like, okay, if I was the X person, you don't know who's who. You don't know what kind of people these are. So like,
stand up and do what you gotta do.
Trying to put people do this so much, and it annoys me a lot because it's like trying to put your expectations onto somebody else that you don't even know, onto some random stranger. It's like, come on.
People
like,
think everybody moves like them or should move like them.
Yeah, like you can't make somebody be built like you. Like you can't. You hear Josh? Yo. Sound like he just hit a couple notes on the tuba or something.
Facts. Yeah, he having issues over there.
Yeah, I have a little, but I mean, it's just like that. It's just that.
Is it me or Jameer's?
It's you, bro.
It might be me.
Yeah.
Excuse me, doggos.
All right, so
Was it me? Oh, you'll sound better now.
yeah, your screen was
Yeah.
frozen.
No. Oh, fuck.
All right, so do you guys feel that chivalry was born on not seeing women as capable of doing things for themselves? Like, yeah, and
Nope.
when we do those things for them, we should get something in return. Do you think that, not
Nope.
you guys personally, but do you guys feel like that's how that kind of idea was born of like, hey, you help a woman do this and she'll do something for you, give and take, or whatever that word would be?
You said you said it's based on women being seen as they can't do something for themselves, right? That's what you said.
Hold up, let me check this.
I just want to make
That's
sure before
what
I
he
say.
said.
I just want to
Yeah,
say.
on not seeing like they're not capable of doing it. Yeah.
I just had a couple different thoughts. The first initial thought I had once you said that was like, not exactly. Like maybe like it's seen as women being seen as less than, or like back when talking way back when this first started out. Just for clarification's sake,
Yeah,
way
when
back when this first started, like you know,
which I believe was
women,
the medieval times. There was a lot of
I
fighting and
mean, that's when like when you talk about it,
you
that's
had to
when
give
like
and
everyone
take.
refers to medieval times. But
That's what you're led
women,
to believe.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's what everyone talks about when they talk about it. But I mean, this has
Maybe
been
that's
going
when
on.
the term for it was made, but not the actual act.
That's what most people. I mean, that's just like what most people think about. But I mean, you could go back even way before then, and it's definitely been going. And women have been treated differently, you could say, because of they were thought of different. They were thought of as like something just like someone to keep hold of the house. So I mean, I don't think that's how it's thought of. I think it's something different that I can't quite put my finger on right
I
now.
got you.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So
I'm gonna close
I'm
it
like
out.
I'm going like I have a bunch of different things in my head right now that aren't really connecting, but I know it's just
I
not based
got
on
you, bro.
I know it's just
Got
not based on women not being able to do something for themselves. Because there were women, like there definitely were women back in the day that could do for themselves and that did make it. So like make it when they had to. Might not have been it wasn't common, of course. There were rare cases, but I don't think that was where it came from at all.
Josh, go ahead. I'm gonna close this one out, baby.
I mean, it's hype. I mean,
You
it's
got it.
ready.
He just passed the baton back to me.
I think he just meant. I think he just.
Yeah,
passed
I'm not really
You're,
gonna.
you're corny.
You're
You're
trying to say shine, bro.
corny.
You're trying to take your
I
shine,
mean,
bro.
all right. So I believe
I
that
believe that
there
we've
was an
always.
incentive for men back in the day. There was more of that incentive of like, okay, I'm helping her with this physical or whatever activity, and more likely than not, she's gonna give me something in return. I do believe that was a motivating factor for not all, but I think I would say most men. That would be my assumption or opinion. However, I don't. It's not that way today, but definitely I think in the beginning of when that, for me, I'm looking at it in medieval times when like that term was more commonly used to refer to. The way it was back then was very savage or vicious times, a lot of fighting, and women needed, yeah, they needed a protector because even a woman that could fight, there's only so much you can do with versus a man. Like you'd have to really, really, really hone your skills, and then even then, just the man may still overpower you. So I think there was definitely a need for that.
I think, simply put, that men court women, like you trying to impress women. So like that whole chivalry thing, isn't so much I do something and I expect something in return. It's like at the root of it, it's like you're trying to impress this person
Hmm.
so that eventually they will want to reciprocate. I think that as a whole, our patience is a lot lower than what it used to be. So when people try to impress, they want
Reward.
Gratification.
the attention or the whole reason why they're doing it now instead of like playing the long game.
Word.
So think about like in the old movies, like in the 80s, um, they weren't just going up to a woman one time and bang they leave with them. No, like look at that Michael Jackson video. He'll be hounding the girl the whole
The whole
video, bro.
the whole night.
Yeah,
He didn't
he's
just
putting
go
in
up there,
work.
what's up, girl, and then walk away with her. No, he be dancing and singing the whole way down the street. Like he was putting in work. He was trying to court this female. See what I'm saying? And I think that's
Mm.
where it started off as, but it's just diluted because us as humans in this society have changed to what we are now from what it used to be.
Yeah, that's a great point. It was definitely more of a long game back then for sure. Like you really, really, really had to put an effort in. Now it's like
Yeah,
with so much apps and like you see so much women on the daily. It's just yeah,
yeah, we have no
it's a good
patience.
point. No patience. We live in a fast food, fast life era.
Facts.
All right. Um, so next, this is kind of what we briefly touched on last week. Um, mm, okay. So this was I got this idea based off of the Billie Eilish. It was, last week she turned 18 or whatever, and then it was noted or found out through social media or whatever that a lot of men were going after her. And then Drake is someone that people have criticized for pursuing women who would think it was the girl from Stranger Things. I think she was like 16 or something like that. He was like in her DMs, and then people were very uncomfortable with that, calling him a predator and all that. Especially this day and age, people are gonna be quick to pull the trigger. Um, so do you guys feel it's natural for men to want to pursue a much younger woman? And how do you guys feel about the legal or the age of legality for sex? I believe it's, don't quote me on this, I think federally, I don't even know what I'm saying, but I think it's 18 for most states. And then also there's some states where it's as low as 16 and it might even be lower in other states. So question is going to be, you think it's natural for men to pursue women that are that young? So not even just younger than them, but that young in terms of like the teens. And also, how do you feel about the legal age of like 18, 17, 16? Do you think there should be a number to it? Like, how do you think that should be quantified?
Mm. I guess I'll go first to get this out the way.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. If you feel like that, because I got a little bit on it, so go ahead.
Because this is a very touchy subject, and you have to tread lightly. Whatever, you're gonna get everybody mad anyway, so you might as well just say your point.
I mean, people gonna be mad regardless.
That's a fact. Biologically speaking, men and women are ready to mate at the age of 13, right? Somewhere around there. That's when
About right, yeah, around that age, that's about right.
that's when puberty hits. That's when women start to get their period, and men start to have the ability to produce sperm.
Yeah,
So it's like biologically speaking, um, when you're ready, you're ready. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Nature doesn't care about age, so it is what it is. When it comes to societal view, because we're able to live much longer than, well, I think before like civilization, you'd live to like max like 23 years old.
Yeah, there was a
So
time
it's
period
like
where it was like that. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So like it we we humans do not evolve as quick as our technology does. So I don't know. I don't know how much we should fight nature. See what I'm saying?
That was a bar.
That's
We don't evolve
He
as
said that
fast as
was a
our
bar.
technology does.
a fact. Think about the last 200 years. You know how much we have
Easy.
evolved? It's ridiculous. But continuing back to my point, we live in a society where we can live up to 70 some odd years. The average. So do I think 70-year olds should be messing with 16-year-olds? No. But it's like that's the problem that I have to that's answering. Why not? It just don't feel right. To me
Yeah,
personally,
exactly. Yeah,
you just have that
exactly.
you have to follow your gut feeling, bro. There is something that just seems so wrong with a 7-year-old man messing with a 16-year-old. And that might be a societal place view that's in my head, but it just
I
seems
think so.
wrong. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It could be possible because again, nature doesn't care about age. Crocodiles don't be running around asking how old the other crocodile is, bro.
Are
See
you
what
a
I'm
year yet? Because I don't want to eat you. I'll give you some time.
Just trying to make
But
sure.
I think that the biggest part that has to play in this whole thing is the um maturity of your mental.
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I don't think a 16-year-old girl has the mental maturity to be messing around with a 7-year-old man.
So it's more of like you feel the girl would be getting used or manipulated.
My initial response is yes, but I haven't thought deeply enough to really elaborate on why yes.
It could go both ways. She could be using the man for his
Of course.
grandmother.
Of course. Exactly. But at the same time, I don't think she understands the drawbacks from that. She's too worried about the pros to elaborate on the cons.
What would be the cons?
Um think about think about being so young and pregnant, right? What happens if okay, she's 16 and old boy 70. Old boy gets her pregnant, right? And once he gets her pregnant, he wants nothing to do with her. So now she's 16 and pregnant, and the bread that she was chasing is no longer there. Now what? See what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't think that far ahead,
No,
and
I ain't gonna
especially
speak
because
about
especially because she's 16 years old, she can't. In my personal experience, I don't think there's any 16-year-olds who think that far ahead. So her mental maturity is not as high as a 70-year-old man. So she's digging herself her own grave without even realizing it because she's thinking too much about the pros.
Now,
I
if
mean,
you're going with mental maturity, do you feel then it should be more common for women to date younger men? Is it younger or opposite, older men? Because they usually say
I,
women
I,
are
I don't.
mentally
I
mature.
don't think. I really don't think age is that crazy of a thing. I just think, are you mature enough in your mental?
yeah, exactly.
So think about it like this. Okay, you're of age. Let's just think about legal people.
Yeah, exactly.
A 35-year-old woman and a 25-year-old male. Could that work? Yes. It's not so much about age. It's about where they're at, where
Mm.
their mental capacity is at. If they're both mature enough to say, yeah, we could do this and they could do it, why should I stop them? Why would
You
that be a
think
wrong thing?
you think
Exactly.
that we have a way to measure that
Measure what?
No. There's
mental
no way
maturity?
you could measure someone's mental maturity. You just have to
Yeah,
experience life with them. You figure that
yeah.
out through dating.
Hey, that's what dating's for. Exactly.
That's a whole fact.
That's what, and like I think a lot of people get lost in that. But I mean, so first off, to start off with this whole thing, I gotta say, men are sometimes sick with like. Sometimes men are sick. A lot of times men are sick with like how like they like talk about like girls that are like around that borderline age, like 16 to 18, like and no one knows like sometimes it's like, all right, come on, dude, like she's not even like 18 yet, and like these sometimes we dudes like late 20s, early 30s, sometimes even like late 30s that be talking about these girls. Like, come on now.
Could I put a point in?
Go ahead, go ahead.
I feel like if you don't know a person's age, right, and you say, "Oh,
Oh yeah.
that lady's attractive," et cetera,
If you don't know, that's like a different
I
thing.
think
Yeah.
that, I think that like because you don't know and you're in that ignorance, like it's okay. But
Yeah,
once
no.
you learn that
Yeah.
person's age
You gotta
and you
talk differently about
pursue
it. Yeah, you keep
and you
talking about
pursue,
it.
bro, nah, you
That's
can't
it.
pursue it. You can't pursue it.
After that, it's
You
a
can't
done
pursue
deal.
it.
Hey, you're making a good point because a woman can be 13 and attractive, but it's different when you actually go out of your way to like, okay, she's attractive, and now I'm gonna go and try and get her. Like,
And you
that's
know
the
her
whole
age
development.
now. Like
Yeah, and you know
that's
her age. Like, what are you
Even
doing? There's
even
nothing
at
wrong,
13 is just iffy, bro.
bro,
but
that's
we are
I think
attracted.
that's society view. That's what I'm
I,
saying. I think it's a society view, but it just feels so crazy.
But don't you think that's part of the problem is trying to like hold those things like, oh, this is messed up. Like, dude, if you think a 13-year-old girl is attractive, you think she's attractive. That doesn't mean you're gonna go and take action. I think the
Yeah,
issue is people see, oh my gosh, you think a 13-year-old is attractive, like you're a creep, and then you suppress this, and then it gets worse and worse. Like
yeah.
we are human beings. We see things we like. Everybody has the thing that they like. A 13-year-old girl
Yeah.
may have that. It's just now, do you understand or do you have the mental capacity to, okay, I understand this, but I'm going to let this person develop. I'm not going to pursue a 13-year-old because that's out of my range.
Yeah.
yeah. Like
I
the
get you
whole
100% on
yeah.
that.
You know, I definitely understand you on that. It's like the whole like oh people like showing up to a party and like Drake like her and like Drake or whatever that situation is. Just
Mm-hmm.
like come on, like that's just like all right. Like did she just turn it like before she was 18? It's just like first of all, dude's like 30 and it's just like I get he's a nice one. Just like out of like all like I'm just like okay if that's what he like I mean hey that's to each his own that's what he likes. I mean it's not what I like. I was like okay you do that bro you do you. But it's just like on a personal preference like I could relate to it myself like when I was like even like sometimes to this day like I was always like attracted to older women. So like it's not like did
Which
I
means
ever
you're an older soul.
all right relax. But like you know it's just like it's not like I was ever gonna like ever pursue them like while I was like in high school or anything.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, that'd be like kind of crazy. Like that's kind of wild. Like you gotta
Yeah,
like
it's a lot
sometimes
more that goes into it.
like so
So
yeah,
much more.
sometimes like and like I had that mental like consciousness if you want to say that or the mental like awareness where like that's something that's kind of crazy and just like yeah you can say like oh you date somebody older or something like that but it's just like that's
You
like
just
you
to be
don't
hype about that.
and it's like yeah people I see it now with like you know all girls around probably around our age dating guys that are like significantly older and it's
Yeah.
just like
Yo.
I think of and I think of it a lot of it girls pursue a guy that's older because they think it's a perception that guys their age or around it guys their age you know aren't mature enough for them or they think they aren't mature enough for them where they think they're
And then they go after 40-year-old men who has the mental maturity of a
I
hey
think
12-year
look
old, and you
a
hey
still
look
big, I think a big thing is it's more about security. I think those men are more
that's
secure where they are in their life, and
they
that
want
allows the
that
woman to
they want
feel comfortable
and they want
okay,
that
I can see
they
that.
want and they
or
want that
stable.
and they want that security and that stability. It's part of what
They got no
kind of what they
patience.
said. Yeah, you got no patience. They want it right
Wait,
now.
god damn it.
Like like you trying to get your life together, but you want somebody that's stable and secure. Like
Exactly.
Bro, the hypocriticalness,
and
I
it's
don't
like
know,
and like
hypocritality, whatever the word
Hypocrisy.
is real.
and like
There
and
we
like
go.
and like I see that I don't doubt that it happens with men with women too, because I'm sure men do that with women too. But
Of
from what
course.
I've seen, my life experiences, people I know out there in the world, I've seen it way more with women. So it's just kind of like they look for that stability and that's, something that's secure and they want it right now. Like, yo, everyone's trying to figure their life out right now. Like at this age, everyone's like, not too many people are set like that. Those people are probably like special cases. And it's just,
Without daddy and mommy being involved.
I think the legal age is pretty good where it's at, though.
The legal age, I think it's fine where it's at. Like I know, like the federal legal age is 18. States vary. I know some states, wherever the certain regions of the country, they're different.
I think Spain is 13, bro.
Yeah, I know the other countries are
Some
different.
places are really low.
I mean, Spain's a really old country though, and like a real
True,
like that's Europe. That's an older culture.
At the same time, that's when they biologically ready.
Exactly, and
That's probably what they base it off of.
And it's probably been that way for how long now? It's probably been that way for how long? Spain's been around for a long time, way longer than the U.S. So I mean, it's been been hundreds of years. I'm sure. So there's other European and Western Asian countries that are probably like that as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's I just think in the U.S. it's kind of like crazy to have like even like when the whole thing with Kylie Jenner when she was like younger, like she was like around our age. Like I think we might have been like maybe like 19 or so, like 18, like 19, 20 around that time. So it's like I feel like when she was turning 18, it's like dudes like our age talking about it. I didn't think that was too crazy. Like yes, technically yes, like yes, she's under the legal age, but like that's like I went into college at 17, or when I first walked onto campus, I was 17. I didn't turn 18 like a week or so later. So it's like it's one of those things where it's just like there's people closer to your age. The further that age gap gets, the more you start to turn your head sideways about it. You're just like, I don't know about that one, cuz it's like I don't think you should be doing that. So I think sometimes
we kind of touched on it, but which is Jose brought in the biological aspect of once you hit puberty. Do you guys feel that with the societal limits, it's bringing about more cases of, let's say, rape and pedophilia? Like, do you think because society has this like stigma of you can't look at people who are aged a certain way or you can't do things a certain way, that that suppression leads to more violence?
More older dudes or older women are going after younger guys or younger girls? Is that what you mean?
Like they're going about it illegally or like in a dark backdoor way.
Well, I mean, there's always been a societal society has always looked down on that, for sure. So I mean, do you feel like there's been more of a light on it recently? Like,
for sure.
I just think now you just know more. You see it more. I mean, that's just due to social media. I think that's due to social media. I think most things that happen now, like we're seeing a lot more of it now because we have access to a lot more. The world's more connected now, so you see more news about it. You'll hear about it more often than you used to because there's access. I think like it's like for example, like to go like in a different realm, but it's like the same principle could be applied. When you have the Ring doorbell, you start to see, this has happened in this area. These people are trying to get in cars. These people are trying to break in cars here. Oh, this person's took XYZ from someone's garage over in this town. It's like, oh, so like it makes it seem bad, but just like no, like this stuff has always been happening. It's just now everyone knows about it. So it's just kind of, I don't think it's more of a light shed on it. I think the public has always shamed about it. It's just that you might not have known it was actually happening. So there's that.
Now, I also want to add, due to these societal restrictions, like the illegal industries such as like human sex trafficking and those types of things have become illegal. So people now go out of their way, or not go out of their way, but these industries, the sex industry flourishes because of these restrictions. Um, so how do you guys feel that plays into, like, I guess the societal aspect, like because of, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, regardless, it seems that it's in our nature to find a way to do these things that, or we, but whoever these people are, they find a way to do these things that they maybe naturally want to do, regardless or irregardless of, what society says. So do you think having this restriction makes it more or happen more than if it was not so restricted?
I don't think that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't.
I don't think that because there's a restriction on it that it happens more. So, for instance, like you were talking about pedophilia as well, correct?
Right.
So, because there's a law on pedophilia, I think that it has restricted it from happening more than if there was no law on pedophilia. Because I feel like that is a hard one though, because you do have to define what pedophilia is. So if you think about it in the sense of like 18-year-olds messing with 16-year-olds, that still may technically be pedophilia. So in that case, I can understand why the numbers would be bumped up. But when it comes to like the example we used before, 70-year-olds messing with 16-year-olds, I think that in that sense, that big gap, I think less of those would happen because there is a restriction on it. So if it does happen, and what's put out there is that those people tend to get caught. That's what it seems like. So if those people tend to get caught, the amount of interactions between 7-year-olds and 16-year-olds would decrease because they should be put away in jail. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But when it comes to the sex industry, um, I feel like it doesn't matter whether it's restricted or unrestricted. Like there's always going to be somebody out there who is making money off their body.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it doesn't matter whether you restrict it or you don't restrict it. Like it's gonna happen. Whether or not it happens more because it's restricted, that's also debatable. Because I feel like there's always that what's Thailand like? Because I know Thailand is legal, and I know a lot of people. Well, it seems like in media and stuff like that, thing about Hangover, like people go over there to do that. So I guess it would happen more if it's legal. You see what I'm saying? You have more tourism. You have more people who will engage in that.
Yeah, that's
But what do I know?
sick. That's sick. I mean, you think about it like it's sick. It's just like I don't think like restrictions like do you mean restrictions as in like when you say restrictions you mean like there's laws against it, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's been laws against it for years now, for like a long time. It's been illegal. So I mean, like, is there more of a crackdown on it now? Yes, probably. Does that mean they're getting anywhere? Who knows? But I think people are still like people that do that. I think they're still gonna operate like some of them still operate in the same manner. Those that are just acting like I think the ones we see most are the ones that are like lone cases. Like most of the time we don't see like stuff that is associated with like a big like a sex trafficking ring, or a whole operation. So I think those people that operate on their own, they go about things probably the same way they have. And I think what thing that doesn't help, like what doesn't help is that everyone now more than ever a lot of more people are just minding their business. So it's kind of just like,
Mm.
like you'll see it online, but you won't really notice it. But like people don't really notice it when it happens right in front of them. And I think now, like as of recently, like this year or so, people are becoming more aware. People are watching out for it more. So I think I think it depends on like how much people are looking for it. Because it's like when you're driving, you don't notice like a certain car. Like you see someone has a certain car, that has a certain car. Now you notice when you're driving, you see it a lot more out on the road. So it's kind of one of those things. We see it now more online. So now we're kind of we're watching out for it. It catches our eye more.
Yeah, you dropped the bar there, bro.
It's just certain things that sometimes you see it and you notice it more when you're actually like looking for it, when you're more aware of it. So I
Yeah,
think
the more
that's
you kind of looking for something, the more you're gonna see it. The more you're
exactly
gonna attract it into your experience.
facts.
Facts.
All right. So, do you guys feel part of our human evolution, or if it even is self-control, or should it just be more about going off of impulse? Like, should we be able to? We kind of answer this, but should we be able to do what we want to do, and like that'll stop it from being, what's the word, from it happening more than it would if we were to try to go the self-control route and then you go crazy. So think of it. I'm gonna use a food example. So like,
Boy made it mad difficult to try to
Yo,
understand his question, bro.
my man's trying to get trying to
Mad
get over
so
in the SAT.
would
elaborate.
you like? Is it better for us to go with our impulse and then like get it over with, or is it about self-control? But also with self-control, you can kind of have that relapse and then go
I have
crazy.
I have this battle and I got my answer, so I'm gonna let y'all go first.
All right, so I'm gonna go. I think it's like a kind of. I think it's like it depends on like two factors. Depends on the person. One, well, it could be either order. Depend on the person. One, and it could depend on is acting on this impulse. Is it going to help you, or is it going to hurt you? Is it going to help you in terms of like help whatever you're trying to do, or is it going to hurt whatever you're trying to do?
Is it gonna serve your purpose?
Exactly. Is it serving your purpose, or is it impeding your purpose? So it's just something as simple as that.
No, that's actually, yeah, it's really good.
Just got to keep.
I like that.
That's really all it is to me. It's like not really much more reason to complicate it more than that. Like if it's not
So
helping my purpose, and the hard
I
part is keeping to it.
I had this question and this person I asked this question to a person and they gave me the answer. So I asked, what do you follow? Your intellect or your intuition?
Mm.
Right? And after like 5 seconds of thinking, they said, my intuition is my intellect. So you have a gut feeling for a reason. When that gut feeling pops up, you're supposed to follow it. You see what I'm saying? Yes,
Yeah.
intellectually at the time, what you're thinking, it probably doesn't make sense. A lot of things in this world don't. But you gotta follow that intuition. That doesn't mean blindly follow your intuition. it doesn't mean, yo, I want this 1 gallon tub of ice cream
Yeah,
because
it
my
doesn't mean
stomach is telling me to go get it. No, it's not what it means. It's just saying if you have a strong pull towards something, don't
don't ignore it, acknowledge it.
ignore it. It's a
Wow,
fact, bro.
good point, bro.
Hey,
That's
we
what I'm
2 for 2
saying.
on this right now. I'm
You
just
feel me?
saying.
Bro, and it's funny because that lesson has been taught to me by a couple people recently in these past couple of years, and it just keeps reiterating. So like now when I get gut feelings, it's like, all right, let me go with this. I'm gonna roll with it, see what happens. Bang, whatever happens, happens.
You know what the
Usually
crazy
it's for the good point.
and the crazy part is when it comes and you ignore it, and then it comes back, and it keeps coming back.
Ooh, viral, baby.
Ooh,
Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah, you guys hit that on the head.
Feel me?
bro.
Yeah, definitely. You just don't ignore things like that. It's coming about for a reason. Figure out why, and then figure out what the next step is. It also is gonna kind of go hand in hand. If you have to know what you want from life. If you don't know what you want from life, you've never really like sat down and thought about it, then you're just gonna kind of go with whatever, go where the wind blows.
For sure.
You have like, all right, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to live my life. I'm getting this impulse, but if I do it, this is out of alignment of what I want to do. And then
There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How am I benefiting off this activity that I'm going to engage in based on my intuition? Mo,
Exactly.
pros and cons.
what's my self-control set? What's that self-control? Can't even speak anymore.
All right. Yeah, that was it.
That's it, baby.
That was it.
Light
Oh, that
for
was
me.
all you had.
Finished off with a
Oh.
bang. That was good. I really liked the way you guys broke that down just now.
Oh man.
Thanks. I should get paid for this.
I wish.
YouTube cut the check.
I don't want they check. I want my own check, alright? I'm a strong, independent man. We talked about this.
At the beginning. How soon we forget.
How soon we forget. All right. So recap.
They don't want your recap.
Yeah, they don't want the recap.
I want my recap.
Bump your recap.
Rewind the video, alright?
Yeah.
Run it back.
Yeah, go back. You got time.
Anything else you guys want to leave with before we leave the people?
I was joking. You could really recap, bro.
Oh, my fault. I mean, because what we spoke about today is kind of hard to recap, but I mean, we hit on between vulnerability or timidness and a strong woman. Jay brought up a good point. You have to be able to define that. It's in men's nature to, or even just human nature to want to be wanted. And with vulnerability or a vulnerable woman, it makes the man feel like he's needed or wanted. But eventually, that can't be what the relationship is based off of.
Yeah.
The woman, needs to be able to gain some strength, or at least find some way to develop that, and even use her.
Both sides of the party need to trying to stop you from getting attacked, bro.
But
both sides of the party need to hold their weight. That's all.
Right. And talk about chivalry. This recap is weird. I don't even know what to recap, to be honest with you, bro.
All right, forget it.
Just don't worry about it. It's all right. It's all cool.
Not annoying. You brought up the recap. Don't want to recap.
Don't know.
Bro, you brought it up first. I was like, I wasn't even gonna do a recap ever.
No,
but
I said we're not gonna do it. Anyways,
I'm talking about like the first video.
Oh.
But anyway, listen, man. Society has these laws and these restrictions. Regardless of that, you need to listen to yourself, analyze why you're getting whatever impulse you're getting, realize or come to realize what you feel your purpose is in life or what you want from life. And regardless of if this is bad or good, if to somebody else or whatever, if that is generally in line with what you want from life, then do it. Because at the end of the day,
Oh,
you have to do what's best for you. Like you can't worry about, oh well, people are gonna look at me funny, or I shouldn't do this. Why shouldn't you do it? Like, is it because somebody's gonna laugh at you? Is it because you're gonna get chastised for it? Like, because that also may be an underlying reason as to why you want to do that thing that you're thinking about. So figure
there's my
your ish
man's
out.
from the Transformers. What's his name? LaBeouf, right? Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, Shia
Do
Oh, my God. I really thought they were about to just break
Yo,
out into a freestyle right now. I was like, yo, what is
I'm
he
weak.
doing?
I had to stretch for that, so I didn't make sure I didn't pull no muscles, bro. I'm getting old.
Oh my God.
All right,
Yeah, nah.
it's Zay.
Jams, anything?
That's Jams. That's Josh. Figure
Happy
it
New
out.
Year. See y'all. I mean, so it's the last week,
Hey, don't
last
play
days of
yourself.
It's not
2020.
gonna be New Year
2020.
when they watching it.
Happy, it's gonna, but
Don't play
next time
yourself.
we,
Don't play
2020.
yourself.
next time we're gonna be
20.
talking to y'all, it's gonna be 2020. So,
Nuevo año, nuevo yo.
to those people that don't get to speak to before
I hate
Or
you.
Oh, wait. If that's you're right. That's a good point. Next week it is gonna be 2020. So if you have your 2020, all right. First, let me premise this. I want to say yes, it's not really a new year. Yes, people do this every year, but I also feel that gets kind of flooded sometimes. You can actually use that, like regardless of, oh, it's corny, blah blah. No, you can actually use that. You can actually say, look, this is what I want for my life in 2020. Write it down, do something daily, or have a daily check-in, something, and you can use, this calendar 2020 year to help keep you in line with what you want. So, people typically, oh, 2020, I'm going to go to the gym more. But, like, why? Like, why do you want to go to the gym more? Is it because, oh, I just want to look skinny and have abs or something? Like, you have to generally have a goal, because it's not just going to come from, oh, it's 2020, I'm going to automatically change now. Like, no, you really need to sit down and figure it out, and figure out the steps that you need to take to get what you want to get. So while it may be corny, like, yes, everybody does this 2020 thing, but like, you can really use that, regardless of what. You can really use that to help you stay on the straight and narrow of your path.
I think Josh's word for 2019 is irregardless.
2020 is expedition.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Don't wait. You don't have to wait to a certain time frame to set a goal and do something. Like when I decided to stop eating meat, exactly. When I decided to stop eating meat, it wasn't all right. Let me wait till next week. I'm gonna do that. No, I said, you know what? Today's the day. Bing, doing it. Did I slip up? Yes, it's okay. I had what I eat. I ate something actually. I think I had like peanut butter and jelly. But it was just a sense like, yo, I marked today. I had the idea. I'm doing it. I'm gonna stop right now. I'm not gonna wait till later.
Yeah, it's never a bad time to make a change for the better for yourself. So I mean,
right now is the best time, baby.
Shoot. I've been starting, and then after that, just gotta be consistent with it.
There's no time better than now.
Exactly.
That's always the answer.
So
what's the best time to eat French toast? Now.
But yeah, just do what you gotta do to get to where you want to get to. Write it down. Do whatever you gotta do. Whatever way works for you best. Find out what works for you, and commit to it. Execute it. Stay with it. If you can help others while you can on your way, ask for help when you need it. Whatever you can, have some French toast while you're at it too.
Thanks.
Or we gonna, oh wow.
Oh my God! Oh wait.
French
Alright,
toast, baby. Now.
we gonna close it out with that.
Wait. Watch my dog drink water. Look at him. Oh nah. Look how much water he got outside of his bowl. Do you see this?
That's dog's
Man,
fault.
I gotta clean this.
That's
Bro,
dog's fault.
That pet owner
cleaning
life.
up after him all day.
What did you say,
And they
Josh?
don't chew over their bowls.
Oh, of course
That
not.
pet owner life. All right, let's finish this.
Yeah,
I'm
come on.
Isaiah.
That's
Nickname's Day. That's Jameer. That's Jams. That's Joshua, aka Josh. We out. Goodbye.
Jiggy Josh,
It's been a pleasure.
Deuces.
you're.
No.